Failure isn't an option. I think that too many people tend to start their goals, and once one minute thing goes wrong, wow, I could have died there. When one tiny thing goes wrong, they end up giving up on their goals, almost like they never truly cared about them. Now, for me personally, I can't, say much because I've definitely done that before, but I've come to the realization that failure isn't an option anymore. I'm done trying to give up on things and start new things. I'm done with all that. It's not an option. You're going to succeed if you can apply yourself properly. Now, the first thing that I think a lot of people fail at, and I think is the biggest issue with our generation today, is that we just don't have the mindset for it. You have to go in with the mindset that you're going to succeed. And when things go wrong, that it's okay because that's a part of the plan. You have to go in thinking you're not going to fail, or you're just going to have a better chance of failing. Now, for me personally, I had to definitely adapt to that because, I'm not really the best when it comes to keeping myself motivated on things, especially when it's not going, according to plan. But you have to fight through the times that you're going to tell yourself, oh, you should quit. Oh, you should give up, especially the people around you. A lot of people around you are going to tell you to give up and, stop because it's not worth it and this and that and this and that. And you're going to have to learn how to tune those people out. Because if you let those people get to your head, then you're going to fail. It's just a given. So you have to change your mindset. You have to go into everything thinking that you're going to succeed and everything is, a learning process. Because at the end of the day, that's literally what 90% of things that people want to achieve goal-wise is about. You should be learning. If you're not learning anything from it, then are you really succeeding? Second thing is that failure really isn't that real. Like, don't think a lot of people realize that failure isn't real. If you go into it with the mindset I have, that you can't fail because one, you haven't given up, and two, what you think is failure, for me at least, is just a minor setback. Now, you might not be getting any views on those YouTube videos. Your business might not be getting any traction, but that's just a setback. What you can do instead of, quitting is by learning what you did wrong, what happened, why it didn't succeed, and then trying to change that to better whatever you're doing. And you can keep trying to rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat. It's trial and error at the end of the day. Most businesses that start out have to go through a lot of trial and error before they eventually get to a point where they're sustainable. And the only true way that you can actually fail is if you give up. If you give up, that means the project is over and ultimately you failed. But if you've never given up, then you can't say that you failed because it's still a work in progress. Like, did you think, let's say Elon Musk, for example, he didn't go out there and just instantly be successful whenever what he was doing. His rockets, for example, blow up every single day. And what does he do? He looks back at what went wrong and tries to learn from that. Because if you don't, then you're just bound to fail. You're going to fail if you can't adapt to learning what went wrong. And I think that's something we all need to learn. Your brain's also going to just make excuses on why you should give up, especially if you're going through a long drought of not reaching like any success. Your brain's going to tell you you should give up. It's going to give you reasons why you should give up. It's going to be telling you that it's not worth it. You're better off just going back living the normal life you are. And you go into it thinking that if it fails, then, at least you tried. But you can't think like that. That's only gonna make you fail. Because with that mindset, you're basically preparing yourself for the worst, which you can't do that. You have to be optimistic about everything. And when things do go wrong, you have to use that as fuel. Every setback should be like ammo to your gun. You can either use that to keep yourself pushing, or it can just drown you. But that choice is a choice of yours. You're also going to go through, fear. I went through this a lot. I had the fear of failure. And most people are scared of looking stupid because they failed. But you can't think like that. You can't have that ego thinking, oh, I look stupid if I fail. Most people don't even try starting. So if there's someone making fun of you for failing, ask them if they even tried anything in their life that took this much effort, this much concentration. Probably not. Don't let people that aren't doing anything with their lives try and bring you down for trying to better yours. That's just crazy. You have to realize that. They're going to try and bring you down because their life isn't as good as your life. That's just how people are. That's just how the nature of the world is. You have to realize that, though. You can't let that stuff bury you and bring you down. Another thing that I want to talk about is time. If you're not thinking, or if you're thinking, if you're thinking that you should wait or you should give it some time before you start chasing what you're doing, stop telling yourself that. You need to stop telling yourself that. The time is clicking. Oh, what the world? I don't know what just happened to my game, but I think it kind of just lagged out. But back to what I was saying. The time is clicking. It's going tick, 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 tick. And every second you lose is a second you will never get back. So why are you telling yourself you'll start tomorrow, or you'll do this tomorrow, or you'll do that tomorrow? Of course, you might have to, because, life, comes out of nowhere and is very unexpected. But you shouldn't just be putting things off because you don't want to do it today. That's not what you should be doing. That's not going to help you at all, actually. That's only going to, negatively benefit you. So look at the time, realize that you don't have a lot of time on this earth. And if you want to succeed in what you want to succeed in, you got to start now. There's not a lot of time left before, your time ends up running out. And you might think, oh, I'm a teen, I have this much time. Then go ahead and think like that. But I promise you, 10 years will fly by super, super fast. And you won't even have realized it. You will have thought that it had been a year when it's really been 10. And you'll realize how many opportunities you could have missed. Because in those 10 years, you could have succeeded at whatever you wanted to succeed in. You also just don't get stronger or improve yourself by avoiding all of this. This is all a learning process, and it's only going to benefit you whether you're not getting a lot of success or not. This is only benefiting you because you're learning new skills at the end of the day. And if you're learning new skills, then I feel like that in itself is a win. Learning new skills that might just benefit you, future, down the line. Those all might just benefit you. For me, one of those things was videography. I didn't really think much of it, but because I've learned it, now I can, go to school events and film stuff, and people will pay me to, do all that. And it's a good side hustle that I've now had the opportunity to do because I wanted to learn content creation, because I can edit because of content creation. All of that has led to me getting more and more opportunities. Now, something I want you to do is also imagine the future version of yourself. Imagine a future version of yourself where you did succeed. Imagine sitting in that dream house, dream car, dream whatever, and looking back at, how hard you've grinded, and realizing that you not giving up is the reason why you got to that point. Imagine your future self. That in itself should motivate you to work 10 times harder, because success isn't going to come fast. It's not, instantaneous. You're not going to be rewarded because you've put in a month's worth of work. It's all about persistence and consistency, not giving up. Everyone who's made it has the same story. They simply didn't stop. They simply never gave up. They kept pushing no matter what, no matter how hard it got, no matter what they were going through. They simply never gave up. And that's what separates the losers from the winners, is that they just don't give up. Now, the last thing I want to leave you with is, something that I want you to think about, or try to at least think about. And it's reframing failure as impossible. If you don't fail at least, or don't quit, then you can't fail. I said that, already this video, but reframe your thought process of failure. It's impossible. Failing is literally impossible if you don't quit. So if you don't want to fail, don't quit. Keep pushing. Keep doing whatever you're doing. Because if you don't fail, then if you don't quit at least, then you don't fail. And if you don't fail, it's just leaving you with more opportunities to succeed because you kept going. That sounds crazy. It sounds like I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but genuinely, that's something you should think about, is that failure is impossible, because if you never quit, you never really fail. And eventually, with persistence, you will succeed. That's all I had for this video. Just wanted to talk about failure because I think a lot of people give up too easily on their dreams, and I think it's really stupid. So remember, you can't truly fail. The most you can do is quit. And if you quit, then you failed. But if you promise yourself never to quit, then you will never fail. So remember that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If it did help you out and you guys want to support my channel, you guys can like and subscribe. I'll try to upload more consistently. I'm back to my yapping style videos. I don't think you guys enjoyed the Reddit ones, so I'm back to yapping again. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Later.